Thank you for this honor. Boy, has this changed. I have to tell you a little bit of story personally. Take a look. I was 140 pounds when I walked the halls. Don't tell me things don't change. A special thanks to a great group. And I want to share this with you because I think it's so important that you understand why you're here as a class individually. We, as a class, are very tight. We only had 84 members in our class. We celebrated our 50th reunion 2 years ago. But because this was a special occasion, not only did the class nominate me for this honor, but they decided to have, which I believe is a first, and that is a class reunion working in conjunction with the events of the Hall of Fame. Some of the members I hadn't seen for 50 years. One of them happens to be here, but there are a few of my class members I would like them to stand. Mr. Phelps was mayor of Jackson, New Jersey. I guess maybe only one term was all they could stand in. I would also like to, being a part of this is great, but knowing that I'm the second half of a father and son team, my son Larry, who also graduated Keyport, as did my other three sons, graduated Keyport. Larry became inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1997. I don't want to take a lot of your time because I know you'd rather be someplace else. But what I would like to do is I would like to tell you just a little bit about what we did. I was a marginal student at best, and I can prove that to you because my history teacher wrote in my yearbook to one of my better science students. He did not do well. Let's get to the chase. So you can do it. If I can do it, you certainly can do it. Anything you choose to do. And that's sort of the theme of the talk that I'd like to give you. It is as you will it. Remember that. It is as you will it. You decide to do it, no one can take it away from you. But it is as you will it. And I showed you this large body at this point, and why I was 140 pounds in high school. You see, I'm a perfect example of midnight snacks. Now you might say, what's that got to do with this? Well, if God didn't want us to have midnight snacks, why did he put a light bulb in the refrigerator? So here's our message. Our message is as you will it. Study today, or you'll have to do as I did and study tomorrow. But sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. Your mission is to imagine and create your future. And I'm going to dare you to do it. Enjoy what you do, or don't do it at all. You have been given the talents, the abilities and the power to become whatever you choose. Choose well. Learn from others, especially people like myself who have made a tremendous amount of mistakes. Some I can't change. But winners lose more than losers do. And that's because winners never stop trying. We don't care that you've lost. We care that you finish. The secret to success is this: prepare, prepare, prepare. Continue your education. You're going to hear this from everyone. Aren't you tired of it already? That's why you're here. Continue your education. Further it. Maintain your principles. And this is the greatest one of all. If you don't have a set of values, get them. Get them today. Because they must be maintained throughout whatever career you choose. And if you find others that are weak, share those values with them. I have two little stories and then I'm going to close. Does anyone know who Wally Amos is? Do you? Who is it? Well, think of this. Maybe you don't know. It's not important that you do know. But have you ever heard of famous Amos chocolate chip cookies? Well, I had the good fortune to work with Wally at a couple of conventions, and I would like to share his philosophy with you. In an obituary, there are two dates. The date you were born and the date you died. And Wally's question has always been, there's a dash in the middle. What did you put in your dash? Think about it. What did you put in your dash? When you was born and when you died is not nearly as important as what you do in life. It is your will. Now, I'd like to close with a little old biblical story, if you don't mind. A story about a wise man who visited the village every year. The people couldn't wait for him to get there because they were asking questions, and he would answer it in somewhat of a prophecy for them, and they always hoped it would be good. But there was a group of young folks that decided they were going to embarrass this wise man so that he would never come back again. And they schemed up something like, let's put a bird in our hand. And when we walk up to the wise man, we'll ask him what it is. And then when he tells us, we'll ask him if it's dead or alive. And if he says it's dead, we'll open our hands and let it fly away. If he says it's alive, we'll simply crush the bird and prove him wrong. So that day came, the people came up to the wise man, and finally this young man came up to the wise man and said, "Wise man, what do I have in my hand?" The wise man looked eyeball to eyeball to the young fellow and said, "You have a bird, my son." And he said, "Well, wise man, is it alive or is it dead?" The wise man looked at him and said, "It is, as you will it." And ladies and gentlemen of Keyport High School, your future is Thank you, Mr. Stoppiello. The class of 1959 gives us our second Hall of Famer, Robert Bob Hyatt. As a prominent Republican, Bob currently serves as a Keyport councilman. In the recent past, Bob served in a leadership role with the Board of Education, serving as its vice president. In addition, he is an honorary member of the Fraternal Order of Police and the Garden State Law Enforcement Organization. Bob also is the founder and president of the Bayshore Republican Conference. While in high school, Bob participated on the school band and the track and field team. He was also an Elvis Presley fan. Please welcome Keyport Hall of Famer, Bob Hyatt.
Couldn't be here without God. But I can say this in the very beginning. You can tell that Larry and I are the older of the group. Reason being that Larry reiterated a lot of the things that I'm going to say to you today. But before I got here, I figured you weren't interested in all the things that I had to say. So I took the notes and I left the notes home. But I can tell you this. We believe in you, in all the residents of this town. Be what you must, do what you can. If you believe in something, make sure you reach for it. I can tell you Vecchio being in insurance and me being a pain in the butt, so we found out that there was some unused premium and dividends left in a policy that had been there for a couple of years and the insurance company didn't want to give it back. Just so you know, that was $92,000 that belonged to this school district. It took me 6 months to get it back. But you kids got some of the reserve. You have a new field, you have nice grass, you have, the side, the girls have a place to play hockey. We got you some new bleachers with some money that we found. These are things because we believe in you. My heart is in this town. I had the opportunity to leave it several times. I raised my daughter when she went through the school system. I have 3 grandsons who are now 2 are in the system. You know what? When I tell you to believe in yourself and do what you can, I mean that. And if there's anything that I or any member of my family, the governing body, can assist you in any way, please call. Thank you.
Stoppiello is our 3rd Hall of Famer. A graduate of the class of 1978. Ed is the founder and president of Big Ed's Barbecue Restaurant. He has since opened 7 restaurants. A resident of Union Beach for over 40 years. While in high school, Ed participated on the football team, and his goal when he was in high school was to one day own his own business. Please welcome Keyport Hall of Famer Ed Stoppiello.
First, I have to say, hello, Keyport High School. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me. When I left in 1978, I had no idea I was standing up here. It's such an honor to be inducted into the Keyport High School Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for inducting me. What an honor. I'm surely in shock. I came to Keyport High School about 30 years ago in 1974. When I first walked through the doors of Keyport High School, I never could imagine that I'd be one of 73 people inducted into the Keyport High School Hall of Fame. Of all the thousands of students that passed through these halls over the great years of Keyport High School, I could have never imagined this. I was going to ask you, how many out there have ever heard of Big Ed's Barbecue? Raise your hand. Well, obviously you answered that question. And I'm sure the football team's been there and are more than welcome to come back. As Mr. Vecchio said, some things have changed over the years. As Coach Chickatelli back there would say, nothing has changed here. I'm still the same size I was when I was in high school, maybe just a little bit bigger head. It's not Big Ed's Barbecue, it's Big Ed's Barbecue. I would like to thank Sandy Siegel for being very instrumental. Elaine Rubin, who's not here, I'll be able to say hi to her tomorrow. I don't know all the things. I'd like to thank my mom for being here, helping me grow up and be a good boy, as they say. I'd like to thank my wife and my children for coming. I love you all very much. All the fellow trustees here today and in the past, and some of you out there in the future. Trust me, you can do it. I did it. I never thought it would come true. I never thought I'd be standing here. Anything is possible. welcome. I'm sure some of you see me on TV, and so you've obviously been to my restaurant. I want to thank you for being a great audience, and it's great to be here. Once again, I don't want to take up too much time. This is such a great honor. You can do it, work hard, enjoy high school. These years pass so fast. I'm sure you've heard it, but I will guarantee you one thing. Later on in life, you will remember it. And the ones that don't like it or dislike it, I guarantee you will miss it. Thank you all for high school. God bless you all.
Hall of Famer, Michelle Reyes Gonzalez, of the class of 1984. Having earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Harvard University, Michelle later went on to graduate from the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey in 1997. She also graduated from Las Vegas Institute for Advanced Dental Studies in 2003. Recently, Michelle has twice been honored for outstanding achievement in the field of dentistry. While at Keyport High School, she did a lot, please bear with me. She was a member of the cheerleading team, 4 years. She was a member of the cross-country team, 4 years. She was a member of the track team, 4 years. She was a member of the bowling team, 2 years. She was class secretary, 3 years. She was on the Powder Puff football team, 1 year. She was wrestling statistician, 2 years. She was a member of the Spanish and French club. She's also a member of student council and the prom committee. While in high school, her nickname was Hitch. Please welcome Keyport Hall of Famer, Dr. Michelle Reyes Gonzalez.
Shape
Gonzalez, present from the class, also from the class of 1984. Our next Hall of Famer is George L. Gonzalez. In 2003, George was awarded a professional award by the Florida Space Authority Board of Supervisors. He was also recognized as an SBA Small Business Person of the Year for Florida, also in 2003. Most recently, he was honored for outstanding achievement by the U.S. Department of Commerce in 2004. While in high school, George participated in varsity baseball 4 years, football 1 year, basketball 2 years. He also made the high honor roll for 2 years. And in George's senior year yearbook, his favorite quote was, "You can't play without your socks." That was one of his baseball coaches. Please welcome George Gonzalez, our next Hall of Famer. while at Stoppiello Community College, he made the Dean's List and was tapped by the Phi Theta Kappa and Alpha Phi Theta Honor Society. Christopher graduated from Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale. Christopher is currently a criminal attorney. While in high school, Christopher participated in football for 3 years, wrestling for 1 year, and his nickname in high school was Woody. Please welcome Keyport Hall of Famer, Christopher Stoppiello.
How you all doing? Most of what I had to speak about today, Mr. Gonzalez had already covered it, but I just wanted to thank everybody for this nomination, and I wanted to ask a question that I'm sure that Mr. Connolly and a lot of my other teachers that see me up here are asking themselves, well, what did my mother drive to get me this award? You know, when I was going to Keyport, I graduated at probably near the bottom of my class. I was a D student. If I got a D plus, I mean, it was time for celebration. But, you know, I made a very smart decision at the end of my senior year. I realized then that being drunk, stupid, and lazy was no way to go through life. And this led me to join the Marine Corps. Now, joining the Marine Corps was probably one of the smartest decisions that I've made. I really learned a lot while I was in the Marines. I learned a lot of valuable life lessons. I learned what it means to persevere, what it means to push yourself beyond all limits, beyond what you ever thought you could do. And I learned about courage, honor, and I've also learned the term semper fidelis, which means always faithful. And in order to be successful, I think that you got to be always faithful. And now we all define success in different ways. And I recently read that he who is successful has lived much, laughed much, and loved much. Well, fortunately, I've had the opportunity to do all three of these things. And now I realize that I'm probably being honored here for the endeavor that I chose to pursue in law. But again, I would have to say that my biggest accomplishment that I feel is my service in the Marine Corps and being able to make a difference. It was President Ronald Reagan that said most people will spend their whole lives wondering if they ever made a difference. But Marines don't have that problem. And I got to see firsthand what that meant. A lot of those lessons that I learned in the Marine Corps, well, you know, I realized later on that I had already learned them on the football field, although back then I really didn't realize that, you know, that these were valuable lessons. I mean, many of you football players know, you probably see the kid's face turn bright red and baby popping out of his head, yelling at you, you know, don't wait around for something to happen. Go out there and make it happen. And that's what you got to do. And if you dig deep, you'll be surprised at what you can achieve. You know, all of the lessons that I learned through life, they helped me later on when I got hurt. Although nothing could really prepare you for a spinal cord injury, I managed to get through it. You know, I remember when I first got hurt, I didn't know if I would be able to go on, or didn't know if I wanted to go on. But I lived and struck the blood for a little while, and then I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And I didn't like the person that I had become anymore. And at that moment in time, I decided want to wish you all luck and just tell you that you got to have heart. And if you have heart, you know, that's what it's all about. Good luck.
Back in September, when we had the class meetings, I told the seniors that Keyport High School was a special place. And some of you chuckled at that. Some of you don't realize that now. But what we have here this afternoon are 6 people that made Keyport High School a special place. And I thank them. And I hope that one day all the students here realize that Keyport High School is special. And for people like it's an honor today to keep that going. And I encourage all of you here to keep striving, to become a better person, and to listen to the words that we heard this afternoon, and hopefully it makes a difference in your life. Our guests here. Also want to backtrack a little bit and thank the art department and Mrs. Decker for the fine job that she's done. To our guests, staff members, and all students, it is my honor this afternoon to officially induct the class of 2004 of the Keyport Hall of Fame. Please leave in an orderly fashion. School is dismissed.
Welcome to this year's Keyport Hall of Fame ceremony, honoring those special people who are already represented our town in a way that makes us all proud to be from Keyport. Our first Hall of Famer is Lawrence S. Stoppiello Sr. of the class of 1952. Lawrence is a father who also formed a nationally known instrumental group from our town. He is the original charter member and inventor of the Keyport Indian hot water system. As additional vice president with Shirley Health Insurance, Lawrence also has an entrepreneurial skill developing a current business, the Financial Service Network. In addition, he is part of the Independent Financial Network in Nebraska. Congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, Lawrence S. Stoppiello Sr. The class of 1959 gives us our second Hall of Famer, Robert L. Bob Howard. As a pioneer Republican, Bob currently serves as a Keyport councilman. In the recent past, Bob served a leadership role with the Board of Education, serving as its vice president. In addition, he is an honorary member of the Superior Order of Police, the Golden State Law Enforcement Organization. Bob also is the founder and president of the Keyport Republican Conference. Congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, Bob Howard. Edward J. Stoppiello was made the real status for the day. There are since opened 7 restaurants. By working in Junior Beach for over 20 years, congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, Stoppiello. Our first Hall of Famer is Dr. Michelle Rose Gonzalez of the class of 1984. On the earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Monmouth University, Michelle later went on to graduate from the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey in 1997. She also graduated from the Las Vegas Institute for Advanced Dental Studies in 2003. Recently, Michelle was placed in honor for outstanding achievement in the field of dentistry. Congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, Dr. Michelle Lewis Gonzalez. The class of 1984 also gives us our next Hall of Famer, George L. Gonzalez. George has been recognized by the Florida State Authority Board of Supervisors in 2003. And as the SBA Small Business Person of the Year for Florida, also in 2003. Most recently, he was honored for outstanding achievement by the U.S. Department of Commerce in 2004. Congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, George L. Gonzalez. Christopher Scott Woodford of the class of 1989 was our final Hall of Fame inductee. While serving in the U.S. Marine Corps, Christopher took part in Operation Desert Shield and Operation Desert Storm, earning a Bronze Star in a combat action ribbon. While at Brookdale Community College, he made the team push and was capped by Phi Theta Kappa and the Alpha Phi Theta Honor Society. Christopher is currently a criminal trial attorney. Congratulations, Keyport Hall of Famer, Christopher Scott Woodford. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure, a great pride to be here. Again, Keyport for this great Hall of Fame ceremony. Had a chance to meet the most recent inductees. Some of them I know well, and some are new to me, but I can tell you from reading their biographies, these are all very, very impressive people. Right here at Keyport, from Union Beach, graduates from this high school. You should all be very, very proud of them. I know you are. I know you're proud of these guys on the playing field today because it's quite a sport that I've spoken to in entire lives. It's great to be with you all, and thank you and congratulations to everybody once again. Our next speaker for the 31st Conference. Thank you. It's great to join you once again and recognize it for the long-term alumni. I think all of you Great job. I'm not going to bring them. I'm not ready to stand on the field. We're doing football. Have a great day. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to be here. First, I'd like to introduce two of the council members here. George Strang, Councilman Joe Letter. I can say something special about everybody here today and being honored, because I know all six individuals. And I said the best part 4 years ago, when I was inducted into the Keyport Hall of Fame, was traveling to Union Beach and Keyport, and so many people waited here beside the street. The best thing about that was they were using all 5 fingers. I'm not used to that. I want to talk to you about my good friend Larry Stoppiello. Someone I lived with like a father, great guy, well-deserved individual. We put a Hall of Fame. Bob Meyer is one of the hardest working elected officials that I've ever worked with. Next guy, Big Ed. We set more school together. We got more trouble. I wouldn't be able to speak to that together if it wasn't for his father, who got me involved in the 1985 terror. We had a week of softball when we skipped school. We were like a mama's car or a 7-Eleven and don't go for a lottery ticket. I told George, I was surprised he's being honest, what he's being honest for. I thought he could recognize somebody as a winning the Yankees. He desperately needs it. Doctor, to the office, we're very proud of you and your achievements in life. And that, Carl, we just look for, we are very proud of you. Keyport's proud of you. Not so much for your achievements in life, but what you achieve for yourself as an individual. We salute your valor and dignity and courage. Thank you all for coming out today.
This evening we honor those special people who have always represented our town in a way that makes all of us proud of Keyport High School. At this time I'd like to ask everyone to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Markowitz, Senior, will lead us through the national anthem. With us this evening are some school personnel. We have our superintendent of schools, Dr. John Dumford. Our curriculum director, Mrs. Gail Holden. Our director of special services, Danielle Lafayette. We also have two board members, Joanne Stager, Vice President. Reed. This time I'd like to call up Dr. John Dumford to give us the history of the whole thing.
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I'd just like to acknowledge Karen Walling, also very grateful today. It is certainly my pleasure to address you this evening about the Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will induct 6 new members into our Hall of Fame. And since our first induction ceremony in 1991, we've inducted well over 70 alumni. It has been a truly unique and wonderful experience to meet all of these distinguished alumni and discuss their achievements and their accomplishments. Most of our alumni will state that the quality of education that they receive and the encouragement that they receive from caring, nurturing teachers and from their family members and their community, along with self-motivation, assisted them in reaching their goals. The basic idea of this Hall of Fame is to recognize the accomplishments of the alumni of Keyport High School and to use them as role models for our current students. We hope that by providing proper role models that we can inspire our current students. Through this inspiration, a student would be able to formulate and develop their future career plans. Funds derived from the Hall of Fame go directly to the benefit of our current students. Each year, the Hall of Fame awards scholarships to our graduating seniors. The Hall of Fame Committee has also donated funds to the music department and to the art department. The Keyport Hall of Fame program has been adopted by many high schools across the state of New Jersey and has also gone into other states across our great nation. I'm very pleased that each of these schools has selected what we call the Keyport model as the basis for their Hall of Fame. It is my belief that public schools today need to acknowledge the accomplishments of their alumni and provide role models for their students. This entire program is operated by a very dedicated, hard-working committee, and it is through their efforts that we provide this program. And I would extend my personal thanks to that committee for all of their hard work. I especially want to note Sandy Siegel for all of her work as the committee chairperson and her efforts on the program book. The program book that you have before you also serves as a vital part of our program and generates the funds for our scholarship program. Tonight we are pleased to welcome home to their alma mater our alumni that have achieved lifetime success. They have distinguished themselves in their careers and contributed to their communities, to our great community. This evening we will formally induct each of our distinguished alumni into the Hall of Fame. A plaque will be placed in the main hallway with their names and their achievements. And after we formally induct each candidate, they will be provided with an opportunity to speak about their experiences. I am sorry to note that Mr. and Dr. Gonzalez had to return to Florida today due to business commitments. They will be inducted in absentia. I would like to thank all of you for attending our ceremony this evening. I would also like to extend thanks to all the local businesses, organizations, and local officials for their support. And special thanks to our Key Club and to the choir who will perform here later on. And I would like to remind you that nominations will be accepted right after the ceremony for those to be inducted in for next year. And applications are located in the back of the program. This time I'll turn the program back over to Mr. Hernandez, or Dr. Hernandez, and I thank all of you for being here. Thank you.
I'd like to take just a moment to recognize former inductees that are present with us this evening. We have Bob Ferry, Harry Womack, Dan Russo, Larry Ledford Jr., and I'll just introduce the new inductees this evening. When I call your name, please just stand up and wave. This is the reason why we're here this evening for these four individuals, the two that aren't here this evening. And the first inductee from the class of 1952, Lawrence Vecchio Sr. From the class of 1959, Robert Hyatt. From the class of 1978, Edward Stoppiello. From the class of 1984, Joyce Gonzalez. And Dr. Michelle Gonzalez. And from the class of 1989, Christopher Scott Luther. Before dinner is served by the Keyport High School Tea Club and their advisor, Mr. James Wesley, and Mr. Philip Larry Vecchio Sr. to lead us in the invocation. Please rise. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering of friends and families in your name. We ask you to bless the inductees for their achievements. We wish to share your spirit with the committee's endeavor to make this event a success. Bless the students and faculty of Keyport High School, that they may continue to lead in your paths. We thank you for this food, Lord. We pray that it may strengthen our bodies and our minds in order to do thy will. We ask this blessing in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, dinner will be served. We have 2 lines, one on each side. We have a drink in the back and forward.
Come on.
This time I will introduce each of the inductees, and then we will hear some inspirational words from them, as we did yesterday afternoon when they spoke to the student body at the high school. Our first inductee, Lawrence F. Vecchio Sr. He's the owner and CEO of Financial Service Network International Corporation, marketing a life insurance brokerage firm which he founded in Lincoln, Nebraska. At the age of 17, he operated a family business as an apprentice barber. While living in Keyport, he received many awards. Keyport Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year, past member of the Kiwanis and Knights of Columbus. In 1959, he formed a rock and blues group called the Viscounts. He currently devotes his free time to St. Joseph's Parish in Lincoln, Nebraska, where he currently resides. Please welcome Larry Vecchio Sr.
Thank you. Before everyone started to come in, I've been a bit surprised about some of the folks that are attending this evening on my behalf. Let's start off Dr. Duckford, Dr. Hernandez, those of the faculty that are with us, and the hard-working committee of the Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank you for the honor. And a special thanks goes to a group of individuals who nominated me for the Hall of Fame. It was the class of 1952. We had 84 graduates that year. 14 are deceased today. We had 15 in attendance that came from around the country to visit with us and attend this particular dinner. I thank them. I don't know what to say about them other than the fact that they would do anything for a party. If things get a little rowdy over on that side of the room, that's them. Blame it all on them. But that's a first. I understand that not only we have celebrated our 50th reunion 2 years ago, 2002. The next one should have been 2007, but because of this, we had a special reunion. All didn't attend, as we have a stronger attendance on every 5 years. But that's how close this group has been. We have had a meeting every 5 years, a reunion meeting, and we've had great attendance. I think 1 year we might have missed, but we've had a good group each and every time. And I think that's a first for the Hall of Fame, that not only being nominated by your class, but also having a small reunion attached to it and working with the events of the Hall of Fame. So that's a first that I take with pleasure. The other first that I would like to bring to your attention is that I'm the second half of a son and father team. My son Larry was inducted in 1997, so that's a new first for us that there is a son and a father team here at the Hall of Fame. I know in their absence, I don't know if anyone's going to speak for Michelle and George Gonzalez, but they were high school sweethearts, and they married, and they are the first husband and wife team, so we have a lot of firsts on this particular reunion. In the class of 52, I felt as though that there was enough happening for the students yesterday to let them understand that all they had to do was believe in themselves to achieve what they wanted to achieve. And I read off a few of the things that our students in class of 1952 had achieved. very successful businesses in real estate, trades, plumbing, electricians, sole proprietors, garden stores, farm stores, in the agriculture business, cattle raising, farming, school teachers, environmental engineers, nuclear physicists, politicians. Whether that's an achievement or not, we're not quite sure. But this particular guy went through school with us. Vernon Phillips, he happens to be sitting over there, actually became the mayor of Jackson, New Jersey. As you go on, there were tax attorneys with the IRS. And now the tax attorney is fighting the IRS. And we have also careers in the military. I'd just like to share a couple of stories with you, what I think it's fun to do. Was that when I had the group, the instrumental group, and many of you remember that, we had just completed a show in New York City. It was for Dick Clark at the time. He was starting an evening hippic type of show, they called it. And as generally happens after the show is over, there's all these, folks waiting at the stage door entrance. And it's generally all the diddly boppers that are just following the groupies around and what have you. Well, I had an experience I'd like to share with you. Because as we were packing up the instruments, because we did play live on the particular show, as we were packing up the instruments, a stagehand came over and said, is there someone here by the name of Larry? I said, yes, I am. He said, well, you have some people waiting for you at the stage door. I said, well, now what could that be, you know? I mean, all these, the groupies have to be there, right? Well, it turned out to be two sailors. Last thing I expected was a sailor, especially a shore patrol, two of them. And they drove the Jeep right up that aisle. And it turned out to be a fellow that we went to school with by the name of Bob Walters, who, I don't know how he got the nickname, but his nickname was AWOL. But he was in the shore patrol. He was stationed in New York City that evening. He was breaking up a fight in the bar of a bunch of military guys, looked up to the TV, saw a guy that he thought he knew, drove over to the theater, and sure enough, we had our own class reunion that day. A lot of my classmates don't know that, but Bob was there. Here you expect all these nice young ladies to be there looking for your autograph and all that, and I get two sailors. As Miguel did mention that at 17, I did have the privilege of supporting my mom and dad with a business that I didn't expect. I graduated in 1952, that evening when I was 17 years of age. So I went through my whole senior year at age 16. All the other guys were driving. I had to count on them for a ride. But I started cutting hair in June of 1952. Little did I know that in August, 3 months later, my dad would have his first heart attack. I found myself an apprentice barber with no master barber, and I was running a business. It took Dad many, many years because he had 2 or 3 heart attacks thereafter. I eventually wound up running the operation as usual, as usually would happen. But the fact is that I learned a lot from that experience. I learned a lot from being forced into being an entrepreneur, doing things I never thought I could do, and doing things I had to do that I never dreamt. And that's one of the things I tried to express on the children yesterday, that change will affect. And when I did that, I just stepped out. I said, I am definitely an example of change. And I stepped away from the podium, and I said, just take a look. Oh, one of the young girls in the front row went, woo! Well, I figured that I attracted them for this one reason. Here's this fat little old guy up here trying just to tell them about change. And I said to him, the change I'm referring to was I was probably 140 pounds in high school. So I understand change. Look at this. This is huge. So I said to them, well, this is what happens when you're a midnight snacker. And that's right. I mean, if God didn't want us the midnight snack, why did he put a light bulb in the refrigerator? So I'm an example of change. And I think that is part of the lesson that I tried to convey to the kids, that I didn't expect it at 17 to be in a situation that I just could never have fathomed. But we make it through it, don't we? You just have to persist and you make it through it. And the other thing I wanted to do at 13, when I became a freshman, was to play football. I was excited to be able to see the high school team play today, but more than that, I was excited to see my grandson who played for Mommy Day. That thrilled me. Because I remember as 13, I was still too young to play junior varsity football. Much too young to do that. And as it was, I figured I didn't go out anyway. Mr. Stan Tony Baker was the football coach. And I had a helmet with a face guard. And he put me in a linebacker position. And he said, when Erickson runs the ball, I just want you to stand up and take him on head on. I joined the band right after that. True, I joined the band. And that was a great experience, joining the band. I met a gentleman who was one of my mentors throughout my school life, and that's a gentleman by the name of Homer Gurlison. But I'm going to tell you a secret, and I think some of my class, I don't think they know it also. But how many of you remember Homer Gurlison as the bandmaster? I see some hands going up. Well, he also had an instrumental group, and he played evenings in a club in Perth Amboy. Little known secret. But he allowed me to know it because I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And maybe you would have never seen his name advertised in a newspaper because he went by the name of Don Dane Quintet. See? You gotta learn something here. Right? But Homer Gurlison went on to be the principal of our elementary school. Is that correct? That's right. And Homer was just my mentor, and I idolized him. I could play a lot of horn, and he was really great. He helped me tremendously. He also mentioned that I have an international insurance brokerage today. And the other lesson I learned I'd like to share with you was the fact that I learned a long time ago that you need people to support your weaknesses in anything you do, especially business. And I would like you to know that I have a tremendous staff, a very large staff, because of all the inadequacies I have. But that's what makes that business flow, finding the right people and making it work. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I thank the Hall of Fame members. I especially thank my sons. They are here. I'd like them to stand. Larry, the Hall of Fame member. Tony. Ron. Joe. And if it was time to announce the daughter-in-laws and the grandchildren that are here, they're all here. If you all want to stand up at one time, why not? Come on, let's not stand up. I would also like to thank an individual that I was shocked when he walked through the door. He saw the name in the paper, and he's been an old friend, a dear friend. I am godfather to his son, and they walked through the door and shocked me. But it just so happened that I found out this evening that I think it was last year you received, 2 years ago, Jim received the Hall of Fame at Matawan High School. Matawan High School Hall of Fame 2 years ago. I'd like to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Duffy and young Jim. I know we're going to miss someone. the course of a life, things change, things happen, and I did see an ad in the paper that I want to address. The fact that the ad was directed to me, and it's a young boy that I adopted, young Nicholas, who just finished his basic training and is now in the U.S. Army. And I thank him for that. And I also thank my wife, Susan. I think we've covered, I hope, I can't probably thank everyone that's ever helped me. All the things in school that we did, I can always go to the class. In the community, there was always a tremendous amount of help. That's the one thing that makes this community thrive. And I see that hopefully this Hall of Fame continues on and on. I do also apologize to my son Larry for missing his Hall of Fame. He blew it off like, oh, don't worry about it, Dad, it's just a dinner. And it's not that, it's more than that. And I thank you very much for the honor. Our second inductee, Robert Hires. Bob had served as Vice President for the Keyport Board of Education. He's a councilman for the Borough of Keyport and worked with the Keyport Business Alliance. He is an honorary member of the Fraternal Order of Police, an honorary member of the Garden State Law Enforcement. He has served for JC's, KYL Baseball, been a fire department member for 27 years, and served as the president of the Keyport Republican Club. Please welcome Robert Hire.
Dr. Henry, thank you very much. I'd like to offer my congratulations to all the Hall of Fame inductees. I am very pleased to be a part of this very special group. I also want to extend a very special thank you to Dr. Dunker, who had the insight in organizing the Hall of Fame 14 years ago. You deserve much credit. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for all the courtesies that they've extended to me and my family today. Just a little interjection. It doesn't take much when you've grown up with somebody like I grew up with as a veteran. Yesterday, the notes that Larry had and I had were very much similar. It was almost as if we had sat down and wrote the notes at the same time. I'm very proud of these people who were up here. You know, Larry, who I've grown up with, his parents and my parents were very friendly over the years. At this time, I would like to introduce Mike, some friends, my wife, who has stood by my side for 40 years, been my backbone, picked me up when I needed to be picked up and give me the guidance that I needed. My daughter Tracy, who has always been there, done everything that I've asked. My son-in-law Greg, who does the things that I cannot do, not around the house, allows me the time to get out and do other things. My three grandsons, Tyler, Travis, and Troy, who offer much joy and a daily adventure. I have two aunts, one who's home very sick, and my other Aunt Helen, thank you for coming. My sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, Dean and Dick Moran. I have a special friend, Judge Dorn, who flew back from Florida. Judge, thank you very much for being here. Sue and Ted Kajewski, who are not only neighbors, but very close friends. June Atkins, and anybody else that I've missed. I also wish that my parents were here to see me receive this honor. I am very thankful to God for allowing me to be here standing for the proceeding. I was born and raised in the Lockport section of Keyport. It used to be when you lived in Lockport, they told you never to cross the tracks. Didn't know what that meant at first, but you never cross the tracks. I went through the Keyport school system, starting at the little East Keyport School on 2nd Street, which is now the senior center. I went on to the grammar school that many of you don't even know existed. It was a 3-story brick building, which is now 7-Eleven and probably 7 or 8 homes. Then I went on to the high school, which was very different than it is today. Along this way, I received many awards and citations, along with belonging to many organizations, starting with being charter vice president of the JCs and being a member today of the governing body. As a parent, the most fulfilling reward I could ever have is the following. If you'll allow me to read it. It says, Robert Bob Heyer is not only a lifelong resident of Keyport, but he continues to give back to the community what it has given to him throughout the years. He is a graduate of the Keyport school system and opted to give his daughter the same valuable education experience that fulfilled his life. My dad was always involved within school activities such as going on cheerleading competitions with us, even though he was the only cheerleading dad. He was always involved in Pop Warner, making sure that every child was having a fun and safe time. He always puts himself last and everyone else first. This continues today. He has been coaching at the Hazlet United Soccer Association for the past 7 years. This came about because his grandson plays soccer, but would not have had the opportunity to play because of lack of coaches. So instead of the association canceling the team, he stepped in and took on the responsibility of coach. He really never played soccer, but did everything from renting videos and books to learn the game. Having the time available, he ran for the Keyport Board of Education and was elected. He chose to help in making our school district better than it is. He not only attended Keyport, as did his daughter, but now his grandsons are attending. During his seat on the Board of Education, he was involved with the seeing of the addition of the new wing to the Central School View building, which included the science lab, computer lab, and media center. He was also responsible for finding the funds in unused dividends and premiums to refurbish the athletic fields. He also helped in obtaining funds from the state for the replacement of the bleachers at the football field. Unfortunately, due to the running for a seat on the Keyport Council, he was unable to hold his position on the Board of Education. His main concern is that the community of Keyport become and stay a tight-knit community. He would like to see that everyone, not only residents, but people that visit Keyport, see and feel the beauty, opportunity, and experience all that Keyport has to offer. At 63 years of age, you would think that the most important thing in a person's life would be retirement. My dad is not one of those people. He has given even more of himself than he has in the past. I can only hope that I can live up to what he has accomplished in his life. I have never been more proud to be his daughter, feel blessed that his 3 grandsons are having the opportunity to see the caring, respectable, hard-working person he is. I can only hope that they can take a fraction of that with them as they go through life. Tracy, thank you.
Our third inductee in the class of 1978. He's the founder of Big Ed's Barbecue Restaurants in Old Bridge, Piscataway, Burlington, Waretown, Mays Landing, and Dayton, New Jersey. He is the former owner of Eddie's Stop and Deli of Union Beach. He coached Little League and is now a sponsor of Union Beach Little League and also donates to local organizations. Please welcome Ed Stoppiello.
Stoppiello. I've heard many versions. I want to thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee. What a wonderful 2 days I've had. What a surprise and a shock. It's been a dream come true because I've had nightmares that I have to come back here and finish out something that I didn't finish while I was here. And this is, I'll Sandy Siegel, who's dropped off numerous things at my house, helped me out with, preparing myself for this. As you can see, like in class, I came up here with no papers, unprepared once again. Why change now, Sandy, please don't leave this committee. This is the first time I've been here. I saw the tape from last year, and I learned that I shouldn't start from birth to whatever I did up until yesterday, because I put everybody to sleep. So continue the great work. I tell you, she's unbelievable. It seemed like everywhere I turned around, she either had a camera, she was in front of the motorcade, she was at the field before we got there. I mean, it was unbelievable. What a great job. I'd like to thank, my fellow inductees, past, present, and I told the students yesterday, hopefully some of ones in the future, and maybe there are some here that are former graduates, and maybe some of you will be up here one day, because I'll tell you, I never would have believed this in a million years. I'm still pinching myself. I think I'll be pinching myself for many years to come. And once again, it's such a great honor. I can't even express the feelings. I want to acknowledge some people that are here today. First off, my mom, the class of 1951, formerly Viola Sutton. She's saying don't mention the year, but I got to say 78, I got to say 51 and 80 and all these other years. So I want to say, Mom, I love you. Thanks for taking care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. Thanks for being instrumental in turning me into, something positive. And, if he could be here, he would be here. And what I'm going to say, it'd be wonderful if Daddy was here, because if you work in this room like Vengeance, everybody didn't have smiles from ear to ear, all I can say is that, Dad, I love you, and I'm sure you'd be very proud of me today. I'd like to acknowledge my brother Mike, class of 1976, and his family. Thank you for coming. It's really important. Also to my sister, Lori, class of 80, 81. My cousin Howie is class of 80s. I keep getting confused. Laura, I love you also. Thank you for being here. I wish Joe could have been here too. To my children, thanks for bringing great kids. I love you. I'm going to work hard for your future, as you know. So, keep being wonderful children. So I love you very much. Thanks. Everybody, Frank coming by, my brother-in-law Keith and Kristen, my friend Glenn and Darlene, Howie. What it would be without these two fellas here? You know what I'm saying? And also Dean for coming back. And it's nice to be here with the Vecchio family. It's nice to see all the Stoppiello cousins together. This is almost like a family reunion on top of it. So it's like a double family thing here with the Vecchios and the Stoppiellos. And last of all, to my wife, who really helped me turn my life around when I needed to, get focused, get on track, become the person that I thought I was going to be. And I got sidetracked for a while, but I turned it around. She was very instrumental in helping me and working, and she continues to work. Thanks, Erin, for taking care of the kids, taking care of the big kid here, and work at the restaurant. Last of all, I just want to say that it's been really unbelievable. I mean, it's been a shock, and I'd like to thank you all for being here. Thanks for listening. I wish I could come up with more stuff, but once again, I'm just not a person to write stuff down. I want to say it from the heart, and let it all out. So thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
This time I would like to introduce two of our inductees who are not here this evening with prior commitments. However, I will read their bios. First, from the class of 1984, George Gonzalez. He's the founder and CEO of the Aerospace Integration Corporation. He spent 4 years on active duty with the U.S. Army, completing his service
directing a research and development laboratory at Fort Monmouth. He currently serves as the Okaloosa County Economic Development Council Board of Directors. He's on the Chamber of Commerce of both the Crestville and Fort Walton Beach area. He serves on the Military Affairs Committee and Workforce Development Board of Directors in Okaloosa and Walton counties. He was recently chosen by the Governor, Jeb Bush, to be on the Board of Directors for Aerospace and Sports Authority for the state of Florida. That's George Gonzalez. We all congratulate George. George's high school sweetheart, Dr. Michelle Reyes Gonzalez. She has a private dental practice in Florida with a focus on oral health and the prevention of oral diseases. She recently participated in the national campaign, Give Kids a Smile, donating her time, providing free dental treatment to children in need. Currently, she is starting a horse ranch called Second Chance. It will be an equine therapy center for children with disabilities. Congratulations to Michelle Gonzalez. And our sixth inductee, Christopher Scott Woodford from the class of 1989. While in the Marines, he received many medals, including the Bronze Star. A diving accident while off duty broke his neck and left him paralyzed. He graduated with honors from Brookdale Community College and Monmouth University. He attended Nova Southeastern Law School in Florida and recently passed the bar exam. His paralysis has involved him in helping and training veterans with disability-related issues. He is a member of the VFW and the American Legion in Keyport and the Paralyzed Veterans Association. Please welcome Christopher Scott Woodford.
First, I'd like to ask my cousin Ella Dixon, who I see sitting over there, a question. Ellen had nominated me, and Ellen, I'd just like to know, did you have to bribe anybody to get me this award? Hey, back in high school, I was a terrible student, and my friend Bobby Lindback sitting back here in the back of the gym. Me and him had sat here the week before we were to graduate, and every time Mr. Dunford had walked inside the gym, both of us got scared because we were waiting for him to come in and yank us out of our seat and tell us that there's been a mistake because we were terrible students. But things have changed, and I'm very honored to be up here to be able to accept this award and to be sitting alongside other fine individuals that have also been nominated for the Hall of Fame. And as you see, success is defined in many different ways, and I recently read that he who is successful has lived much, laughed much, and loved much. And I've been fortunate to have been able to do all three. And it doesn't matter how much money we have in our bank account to determine how successful we are, or what our title is, or how far we went with our education. I know many people that do hard work each and every day, and they come home sweaty, tired, and just quite honestly, just sometimes they come home smelling funky. But it doesn't matter. Some of them are very successful, and I like to define my success by the impact that I've had on the lives of others. And I'll tell you, when I graduated here in 1989, I was a terrible student. I had got straight D's, and I mean, if I got a D+, it was time for celebration. But towards the end of my senior year, I realized that being drunk, lazy, and stupid, although you know, fun for a brief period of time, there's no way to spend a whole life. And that led me to making one of the smartest decisions that I made. And that decision was to join the Marine Corps. And by joining the Marine Corps, I was able to fulfill one of my hopes and one of the things that I feel makes me successful, and that was to be able to serve people and to make a difference. And President Ronald Reagan that once said that most people will spend their whole lives wondering whether they ever made a difference. For Marines, they don't have that problem. And so I was able to see, you know, exactly what President Reagan was talking about. And it was about 2 weeks after I graduated, I shipped off from boot camp at Paris Island. And I learned a lot of valuable life lessons while I was there. I learned about integrity, I learned about discipline, and I also learned about what Semper Fidelis means, always faithful. And in the Marine Corps, I learned to push myself further than I've ever pushed myself before. I pushed myself beyond all limits, and I learned what it means to be persevering, and it was those life lessons that I learned there. And here in high school, although, again, I was a terrible student, but I'll tell you, I learned some lessons on the football field, although I really didn't play that much because I played my freshman year, failed off my sophomore year, played my junior year, and then failed off my senior year. But still, I remember getting out there, and I would hear all the time the coaches would always say, you got to get out there and make something happen. You can't wait around for something to happen. It's you that's got to get out there and do it. And they would always talk about having heart, and again, just to push yourself. And those lessons, they helped me. About a year after I joined the Marine Corps, I found myself in the Gulf. But quite frankly, it was an adventure. I was 19 years old. I was sailing around the world on an amphibious assault ship. And I was serving my country, and it's something that I'm very proud of to this day. I realize that I'm here and have been nominated most predominantly for my endeavor in law that I've decided to pursue. But again, my service in the Marine Corps is very important to me, and I think it defines me as a person. Those lessons, they also helped me when, about 3 years after I went into the Marine Corps, I suffered a spinal cord injury in a diving accident. Now, although nothing could really help you prepare for a spinal cord injury, it was those lessons that I learned in the Marine Corps that had helped me get by. I mean, when I first got hurt, I sat around for a long time wondering whether or not, whether or not I wanted to live life like this. But I'll tell you, I'm really glad that I decided to get on with living my life, because I've really experienced some adventures since that point. What happened was, for a while I was leading a destructive life after I got hurt. I didn't know if I wanted to go on. But then I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I realized that I didn't like the man that I was becoming. So I made a conscious decision at that moment that I had to get on with my life. I had to change the person that I was, and that's what I think is very important, because here in America, I found out that we can be anything that we want to be, and that if you don't like your life, if you don't like where your position in life, you have the ability to get out there and change it and to do better for yourself. All you have to do is dig deep, and I'll tell you, you'll be surprised at what you can achieve. And eventually, I started college at Brookdale. I went on to Monmouth, and then law school. And like I said, I'm very happy that I sat one day after I tried my first case, and when I came home, I caught another glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I just had a chuckle, because I'm glad that I went on, because I've done some very interesting stuff. Had a chance to work with Barry Sheck from O.J. Simpson's Dream Team with the Florida Innocence Project, edited for the International Comparative Law Journal. And this is a kid that had graduated high school and got a D- on his term paper. So, did work for it, and I've helped fight for disability rights as well as other civil rights issues. But you know, I'm just proof that if I can do it, anybody can do it, as long as you want to do it.